Okay, let me check something real quick. Sorry guys, I've not done a live broadcast in a little while. Um, Last weekend was Labor Day, and weekend before that was I was not feeling too well. So anyway, welcome to my new area in the house. Um, I know for some of you guys that's gonna be strange, but I I have an office, and if you go look at my video listing, you will see a video of my home lab. Well, I can hear it from here, the fans and the servers. Hopefully, you guys cannot. Um, so if you do, I apologize. But when you have a home lab with a half rack of servers, it's kind of hard. Well, the last time I did a feed, okay, I was at my kitchen table, and you guys saw that. Well, I'm a dad. I have two wonderful kids, and couldn't eat dinner there. So when my daughter came over, my son lives with me, but when my daughter came over, it was kind of hard to have dinner there. Where I know kids enjoy eating in the living room, I don't. I actually grew up with dinner at 6. Family sits together, and you're not supposed to leave until everybody's done. But on that last part, I kind of let the kids go. Let me adjust this just a little. So I'm turning another cycle around the sun this week. So I bought myself yet another desk, and it's in a corner of my living room, and you can kind of see parts of it. The lab that was over in that corner, and you can't see it, is now here. So there are things running, like this is my GitLab server. This Lafrit Libre computer is my Nagios server. This is Himmendale. This gigabit down here, gigabit brick with the Centron, is actually running Debian 10 with a Linux game server on it running Minecraft. This is my N2, and you guys can't see it, but down here there is a NVIDIA um, Jetson Nano Jetson, and it's running there. And then up here I have my M1, another this little studio, and I'm not sure what. Hopefully, you guys still can see me. It said OBS is disconnected. So yeah, essentially, this is the new area where I'm going to be recording, and the overhead cam, which I'm pointing to and kind of showing off my head, is where I'm going to be putting boards. And right now, my next project is this lovely Banana Pi R2 Pro. I'm waiting to get a couple parts from it. The case is from UE2. This is one of their cases. I have the lid off because it's a pain in the butt to keep taking it on and off. So anyway, I wanted to show you guys that. And You guys can't see them, but they may bark or they may do something. Is over on the couch next to me, because again, this is my living room. Um, there is my 1.5-year old beagle Rose. I wanted to call her Gateway. She's got a nice little pattern. She's asleep, and then behind me is my faithful dog, Snoopy. Yes, I joke and say that I am the living Charlie Brown, and I have the dog to prove it. But anyway, so again, welcome. I really hope you guys are enjoying this. So, a little bit of tea. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the overhead off, and let's real quick bring up some stories. And the first story I want to bring up, okay, so let me move the camera around. There we go. So the first story I want to bring up is a new product. So Libra Computers, who's been around for a while, is coming out with a new board. In fact, it's been out for a while. This is their sweet potato, and it is another Amlogic S95, and the board itself looks very sweet. I'm supposed to be getting one here in hopefully the next couple weeks where I can review one and show you guys. But just the base pictures that you guys see here, they've done a lot of improvements. So now we got the colored GPIOs. Okay, we have our art pins that are next to the HDMI headers. It's still in, from the picture I'm looking at, it is still in a, I believe a Pi 3 form factor, because in a Pi 4 normally you swap around ports. And yes, it is a Pi 3 format. I just had to check my Hemmendale server. So here's some quick specs about it. Amlogic S905X, quad core ARM, A53, and can get up as high as 1.512 gigahertz with a ARM Mali 450. Okay, and we'll have 2 gigabits of memory, just like the Levitata. It's got the 40-pin Raspberry Pi headers, audio headers, SB, power over Ethernet, okay, and the UART and infrared servers, fast Ethernet, and 4 to USB ports, okay. The one thing that I'm happy to see that they did was they have changed out the plug from the micro USB to a USB-C. And a little bit opinion on me. The reason that I prefer the USB-C over the micro USB is that after a while on the older Raspberry Pis and even the couple the little potatoes I have, the power plugs start it kind of bending and not connecting right, and either the connector itself is messed up or the power supply that you're plugging in is messed up. So this will cost around $50, but if you go to Love Our orangepie.com. They actually had it on sale a couple days ago, so that's pretty cool. So, talking about older, well, the sweet potato's new, but it looks like it's going to be a replacement for the computer. Okay, talking about old computers, and one that I still don't understand how it's still being offered. Thank God for Army and Linux, because if not, again, I don't see how they're offering it. But OKDO has a sale going on where they're selling the Tinkerboard 2, okay, for 99 pounds. I assume that's probably roughly, I think, around what, $120. So we could take this real quick. 99, whoops, not 99 pounds to dollars. $123. That's not really a sale, guys, because that's what they go for here. And again, with the board is so old. You know, okay, I'm thinking the original Tinkerboard was $80, so this is the 2. But again, I'm surprised people still are using Asus Tinkerboards. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's because in the past I've tried to buy other boards or other of their boards. Like I tried to buy a Asus Tinkerboard R last year, couldn't find a power supply, couldn't find a case, ended up returning it. So if you're in the UK, take a look. I bet here in the United States you could probably find it on sale. Now, just check real quick. I don't think anybody's, probably nobody's watching. Yeah, according to this, 0 watching. So we'll do this kind of quick tonight. Oh, actually, 3 views, 1 like. Cool. All right. So, again, 99 pounds from OKDO, which is, they do have stores that do sell in the United States. Okay. So moving along, another thing that has come out this week, well, a couple things have come out this week from Orange Pi. Orange Pi is really up in their game, okay? Between Radix, Orange Pi, and Banana Pi, they are really stepping up to take over the small board market. Orange Pi, let's go look on Tom's page real quick. Orange Pi just released a CM4 module. So now, technically, okay, don't see it here right off the top of the bat, but technically there are now 3 CM4 modules. Banana Pi has theirs, okay, which, you know, I have a review up on my channel. Of course, Raspberry Pi has theirs, which are in several different models. And Orange Pi, believe it or not, has a CM4 as well. And it's really impressive that that's becoming kind of a staple. But the other thing that caught me off guard was Orange Pi released, okay, because this article is from the 9th of September, released a new um, a new 02W, and there are different configurations. You can get it from 1 gig to 4 gigs, and it's using the DDR4 RAM, and comes with SPS Flash, which is, kind of like the equivalent of a bootloader for the small bore computers. Google spying on us. And, you know, this is, again, this is kind of impressive because I know Raspberry Pi has been picking up their productions. You can actually go and find a lot of Pi Zeros. I picked up, believe it or not, a couple months ago, a Pi Zero with headers, and that I wanted to use for a internet radio. So I've got it to the side. But if this has more power and can work with some of the boards, probably not. One of the things that when you start working with other boards, unless you're real good at figuring out how to write Python to change out the GPIOs, a lot of times you'll get LCDs and header boards and things like that that will say it's for the Raspberry Pi that will not work with your board, because even though it has the headers and things like that, all it takes is 2 of the GPIOs not to match up 1-to-1, and the stuff won't work. So I'll see if I can get one of these here in the next couple months to take a look at. But for those of you, Orange Pi, like I said, they have really upped their game. They have a CM4 that's come out. Now they have a Pi Zero. The other thing that they have done over the last couple weeks is they have increased the capacity of their Orange Pi 800. So for those of you who are not familiar with it, Raspberry Pi a couple years ago released the Raspberry Pi 400 that is an all-in-one computer, meaning the keyboard's there, memory's there, processor. For my generation, it looks kind of like an old either VIC-20, Commodore 64, Atari, because that's how our computers were. We didn't get things where it was all multiple pieces. It was, you got this unit that looked like a keyboard, and you would plug it up to an RF connector, plug it to the back of your TV, and you would either use channel 3 or channel 4 depending where you were living, because back then we had channel 13 through 3. Actually, let's flip it. Channel 3 through 13, which was known as VHF. And then we had higher channels, and I'm not going to try to remember the range, but we had higher channels which were on UHF, and they tended to be more of your independent, in the early days, independent. I know when Fox became a big thing and UPN and other channels, there was some swapping around. But anyway, the VHS had your 3 major US carriers, ABC, NBC, and CBS, with PBS. So we actually had 4 channels in the early days, okay? And then towards the early 80s, mid 80s, we started getting UHFs, which were cool because, believe it or not, we would watch a lot of cartoons. But getting back to the computers, you had this box that you would hook up on the back. You would plug in your RF connector, so your audio and video would go through that connector, and you would flip it, like I said, either channel 3 or channel 4. You would turn your computer on, and you would go through there. Not the high quality pictures that we have today, but it worked. Even a lot of the early retro game players use that system. It wasn't probably to the early and mid 90s that we started seeing the three color system where you had yellow for video, white for your left channel, and red for your right channel, and you would use that. And then of course we went to composite, then to HDMI, so that way the picture's gotten better. The one thing that has changed though is we don't really have VHF and UHF channels. Everything's digital now, and I believe a lot of those channels, the frequencies and things like that were being used or being sold off so that they can do our cell phones and other radio devices. So Orange Pi, they released a similar product like the Raspberry Pi 400, and like I said, now it's up to 128 gigs of eMMC storage, which is awesome because again, SD cards depends on the speed of the cards. I use, like you see in a lot of my videos, the Samsung Pros, and they're anywhere from I want to say the read is 180 megabits per second and the write's 100. And if you buy cheaper cards, it's going to be lower. And if you're dealing with a lot of these high board computers or alternate computers, don't go cheap. Get you a Kingston, a SanDisk, or a Samsung SD card, and you'll be doing good. So anyway, this is going to be cool because again, it's not just one flavor. There's going to be multiple flavors. The picture here shows no headers, but there is headers down here. So it'd be kind of nice to see if anybody can get these working with like Retroflags, GPI case. Yeah, I used to do a lot of retro gameplay and things like that. So right now they're saying that it will have Android 12 TV on it, which is cool. You can make a nice little media device. Debian 11 and 12, Ubuntu 22 and 20, and Orange Pi OS, and which is based on Arch. I've not messed with the Linux version of it, but the Android version, as you guys can go look, it's very nice, and does take a little bit of work to get the Google Play Store on there, but once you have it on there, it opens up a lot of possibilities. Now, one of the things that has changed over the last several years, and Intel just got out of it, as you guys know. They were the ones that started the NUCs. The NUCs are those like little square shaped computers. Even though that's a Libra Renegade, the case is supposed to imitate that of an Intel NUC. And there are several key makers on the market. I actually reached out to the article we're going to look here in a second, Geekdom, to see if I could review one of their computers, and got a response, but it was just like, okay. And you have how many subscribers? And at that time I didn't have a lot, and I still don't have a lot, but I wanted to be fair and show them that I can do it. Ended up buying a Beelink Series 5 AMD that is my backup to my video server. Nice little NUC server. You know, the size, the power is very nice, and especially since now, like with storage, with the NVMe, the non-volatile media, okay, it's getting cheap. I mean, you can pick up a 1 terabyte for about as low as, $60. Okay. And up to at least 100. So it depends on who the manufacturer is. I've been using Inland, which is a Micro Center brand, as you guys know. And because a lot of this stuff I do out of budget, out of my own pocket, I tend to go with a inexpensive brand. I'm not going to say Inland is a bad brand because I've been using a lot of their stuff, and I got Inland SSDs. They're 120 gigs. They're probably 7 or 8 years old and still going very strong. Um, Most of my flash drives are Microsoft branded, but if they switched it over to Inland, I still pick them up. But anyway, um, that B-Link was so good that, or works so well for those that care about grammar, works so well that I actually picked up a second B-Link that I installed OpenSUSE on, and it's here on my desk so that I can work on SSDs and other things. So this is an article from Forbes, and I had to open up in Firefox because they are just all over the place. Like, I turned off every freaking ad blocker. And no offense, Forbes and all you other websites, we don't want to see your ads. We just want to read the story. And some of you guys put so much stuff up there that it's irritating. I miss the early 90s. And yes, I'm going off on a bit of a rant, but I miss the early 90s when you could go up, read an article, and didn't have to worry about freaking pop-ups, freaking ads. And most of the times it's stuff that I would never want to buy. But anyway, so the article is talking about the Geekdom Mini IT 13, and it is going for close to $800. Here in the article, it is $789, and they're comparing it to a Mac Mini, which, no offense, Forbes, a Mac Mini is running an M1 M2 ARM processor. This is still running a Intel, so you're not comparing apples to apples, okay? Excuse the phrase, but you're comparing one processor to another processor. If Geekdom came out tomorrow and released an ARM-based CPU that could run, then fine. This comes with 32 gigs of memory, 2 terabytes of SSD, okay, not NVMe. So already, I like how the guy's saying just with that alone, you're looking at close to 2300. Well, yeah, you're buying Apple's name, their hardware. Trust me, if you could do a Hackintosh, okay, you would probably end up being able to buy it cheaper, but it's that Apple logo that you're paying for. And here they're saying that, oh yeah, because this unit, okay, with a Core i9 13900H processor, 32 gigs of memory, okay, and 2 terabytes of SSD. Come on, guys. If you're going to use a NUC device, NVMe. Let's go ahead and get that in there, and then that way you are going to be offering it at a better price. But I was reading through this, and it's using the Intel Iris Xe graphics, so it'd be nice to see how it would do with gaming, because most of us would get these things. We're either going to be doing video editing, desktop editing, playing games and things like that. Um, I tell you who really rocks is, like I said, B-Link with theirs, um, the shared memory and all that. This has got 32 gigs of memory, so if you bumped it up to, um, sorry about that. If you bumped up the shared memory to 8 gigs, does that affect the performance of the PC? And I am assuming that it's going to be DDR4 and not um, DDR5. Okay, so if you're interested in them, they're always running ads, and apparently they've knocked this down by 110 bucks. So Geekdom, I'd love to get one of your units. I would gladly return it. I know this sounds like I'm being selfish, but I'd love to compare your unit against my B-Link, okay? And if I had to go apples to apples, find a B-Link with an i9 in it that's similar to yours so that it's a fair price and see who comes out, okay? Your ads on Facebook bug me a little bit because they all look like your staff members. I don't see anybody who looks like a real IT person, okay? So, you know, would love to take a look at that. All right. That's pretty much all I got for tonight, guys. Appreciate everybody who, if anybody or everybody who came and just checked me out for a couple minutes. I will be back next week. Okay. This is the new studio. I may get a few more lights because luckily I think yeah, I look okay here. But appreciate you guys stopping by, and we'll get some more source stories. And I'm also going to do a little bit more sharing of things that I'm working on and other items that I can share with you guys. Okay, like I said, just going back to this real quick. Banana Pie actually reached out to ask me to do a review on this, and here, let's turn the camera a little bit. This is their R3, which I have posted up a video on, and again, this is the R2. And believe it or not, I am going to, with my Zima board, set up a private network for all this gear so that I can start showing you guys how to do um, stuff through Mobile Xterm, with how to, use network manager, things like that. And having a private network will be great. Okay. So that's pretty much it, guys. Please subscribe to my channel. Please hit like. And if there's anything you guys would like to see me review, let me know. I do focus mainly on small board computers, and I am, as you guys can see, I am trying every day to improve myself so that I can get you guys better quality videos. I am going to be focusing more on the items themselves instead of going long-winded. That's just me. If you ask any of my friends, they'll tell you that I try to explain everything to you guys because that's just how I am. I want people to understand. I was a language teacher in Japan for 3.5 years, and I know everybody's like, well, what's that got to do with the computer boards? Well, I love to teach, and part of the reason I do Ugly Scale, part of the reasons I'm doing these live videos and showing you guys this stuff is to share my knowledge with you guys so that you can learn something. And feel free to leave a comment with a question. I will try to help you guys out. Okay. So this is Terrapup. Okay. AKA Chuck Payne, the one and only. Been surprised to see that other people are using my nick. I've been the only Terrapup now going on close to 37 years. But I guess I should be honored that others are doing that. But trust me, if you tell people out at any Expo, hey, I know this guy named Pup, he is part of OpenSUSE, and they'll go, oh, Terrapup? Chuck Payne? Yeah. I mean, I that's just who I am. I love to help out. I love to give back to the community. But again, guys, that's it for this week, and we'll see you guys next week. Next week, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will be getting more articles and more news to share with you guys. Until then, keep an eye out for my shorts and keep an eye out on my videos. Talk to you later. Peace.